Sure, it's important. So let him feel the love. Where is he? There he is. Stephen Garvey. Beautiful. Rock and roll, sir. Beautiful. Yeah, take it.
Oh, you're the test. Everyone can hear. Well, you guys are the lucky ones, because I'm going to share some things that some of you know about the Fiat monetary system. What's going on, right? Russia, Ukraine, we're going to connect the dots. And then we're going to look at solutions for us on the ground who are getting pounded into the pavement, right? With inflation and other things, food shortages. Al Gore, Gates, Musk, on and on, Soros, right? They're all part of the globalist NWO, AKA Great Reset, so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution, AI technocracy that is being rammed down our throats. That's the new era that's coming, everyone. We all know it, right? Digital ID, digital currency. The cornerstone of this agenda is, guess what? Global governance, AKA one world government, right? Global governance. You look into the World Economic Forum, it's all about global governance. Let's connect it to Russia. Our beautiful Russians, they're standing up to what's called the unipolar biased rules-based order. In their defiance of US, EU, NATO, using Ukraine as a proxy to take down that independent national country. That's the agenda they're going on. That's how it's connected in. They've imposed sanctions. We all know about Western sanctions. You know who they're hurting? They're hurting me, you, all Westerners, and people around the world. Food, the World Food Index is at an all too high. It was at close to 160 index price. This is all commodities, looking at cereal, oils, meat, dairy. It's inflation, food shortages. Inflation is going through the roof. Canada is over 7% and going higher. The US is projected for this month, which will be coming out next week, by the way, 8.5% inflation. That's a higher cost of living for all of us. You understand? So what they did, I want to explain this so you understand. It was really decrepit and disgusting what they did to Russia. They froze their hard-earned assets in the West, 300 billion. And this is exactly what they did to the truckers, right? It's no different. They're freezing the money. But here's the caveat. They're undermining this U.S. reserve currency. The fiat system that's in place, the unipolar world. Do you understand? That's what's going on, because there's no credibility in the U.S. reserve currency. Russia is demanding ruble for gas now from unfriendly countries. Did you know that? Ruble for gold, right? That's undermining the whole, this whole Fourth Industrial Revolution, the unipolar. It's historic. Everyone, what's going on? The media in the West is completely propagandized. Just like they vilified the truckers, they're vilifying the Russians because they're standing up to this global world order. You understand? Russia is not going along with the global governance, and we should be very happy with that. Very happy. This is historic. But it's important to, what's going to happen is these countries, there's an organization called BRICS. It's a new trading bloc, and it's going to compete with this unipolar world. BRICS is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They've been around for about 10 years. They're going to start trading in their own currencies. It preys on them. They're going to have more value going into their country. A multipolar world is good for humanity, right? We don't want one group controlling the whole world. We want multiple controls, right? It's better. That's what's going on now. But I'm going to tie this into you, how this is impacting you. But what have the central banks, through the fiat monetary system, the central banks, what have they been doing? They've been buying up gold, hard assets, lots of gold. Last year, some of these central banks, and one of them is very smart in Hungary, they bought the total purchase by central banks last year in the first quarter was 333 tons of gold. And Hungary was right up there because they realized this fiat system, the cash, the savings in your bank account are at risk of collapse. Right? The IMF last year, they purchased 297 tons of gold that are in vaults. Why do you think they're doing it? This is about fiat currency collapse, what I was talking about. And that's what's coming. So my message to everyone here is why we should be doing the same thing, buying hard assets. If you're relying on these fiat currencies, you have your savings, right? Your pensions. What's going to happen when there's a de-dollarization? The dollar's going down, the Canadian dollar's going down, because fiat isn't backed by anything. You understand? That's why they're so angry at Russia. But what Russia's doing is looking after itself as it should. It's putting value back into its country. And that's what we should be doing. But guess what Canada did? Any idea? 2016. They sold off the last remaining of our gold reserves. So we have no protection from fiat currency collapse now. Right? Isn't that disgusting by these globalist multi-control sellouts in Canada? We have zero gold. What do you think China's doing? They're buying up gold. They have, I've read estimates, over 20,000 tons of gold. And what's gold? It's money. It protects your wealth. If you look at the gold price, it's going up. It's been going up steady. Right? When there's a crash, a recession, a depression, if you have gold, you're going to have wealth. If you have your money, the fiat money in your bank account, your savings, you're going to lose it. If it crashes down, and there's a good chance it will. Right? So why not do what they're doing? This isn't financial advice. I'm just making suggestions here for the well-being of the people here. Right? But isn't it atrocious, this cabal government in Canada, the multi-control, selling us our future out? We have nothing tangible to protect ourselves from a fiat collapse, which is imminent. Right? And then you tie it into the inflation that's coming, it's getting higher. Spain was near 10%. Germany's over 8%. US will be over 8.5%. The central banks have lost control. Why? Because of all the debt. They added 20 trillion worldwide in debt during the lockdowns. The US debt is over $30 trillion right now. And I talked to some smart people here today, and some of them think they're trying to collapse the system, and then they'll bring the financial reset. But I'm not saying this is doom and gloom. I want to talk solutions. But why not do what the central banks are doing? Why not buy hard assets and protect your wealth? Silver, gold. Real estate could collapse. It is a hard asset, but it could collapse. Bitcoin, I'm not I think it's a gateway to the national digital currencies. Guess what? The Bank of Canada is working on that, by the way. They're also working, the Bank of Canada is Canada's central bank, right? They're working on a national digital ID as well, right? The problem with Bitcoin, I'm not against it. It's volatile, it's speculative, and that's a problem, and it's getting more regulation, and it can be co-opted by the national digital currency. So, silver, gold is proven assets over time. And look at the central banks. Do you think they're stupid? They're buying it all up. What are we doing? Think about it. You got your savings in your bank account? This inflation rate now is over 7%. You're losing money every day. You keep that money in your bank account. Right? You want to fight these globalists? Take control over your finances. Right? Take control over that. I'm warning, like, there's a collapse coming. And some people, there's different schools of thoughts on it. It could be coming, they could be deliberately doing it. Right? They may want to crash the system to get the financial reset. With all this debt, they realize they're done, right? All the trillions in debt. Or they could be so stupid, right? These sanctions could be part of it. They're going to blame Russia, right? So I'm just warning people, it's pretty bad what's going on. Just be smart. There's going to be food shortages. They're coming. It's showing. The inflation is getting higher. And we're probably heading maybe stagflation, recession, right? So this is serious stuff. Does anyone have any questions?
How is Bitcoin not a globalist scam to track and trace every cent that you trace? How is Bitcoin not, you don't think they have control over Bitcoin?
Yeah, there's more and more regulation over cryptocurrencies. I'm not against those people. It was great when it first came out. It was decentralized, but there's more and more regulations on it, right? And once they go with a national central bank digital currency, all the institutions will shift from Bitcoin over to that, right? It'll get displaced. But there's more and more regulation. But track and trace, yeah, they're actually tracking it all now. Who's buying it, who's selling it, right? Part of it. Pardon me? Yeah, they're also doing it with gold as well. No, you don't have to. They're also doing it with gold as well, but you can't let that discourage you, right? So, this is just a warning of what's coming. It's there. Don't believe the media. The great news is that Russia is standing up to these globalists, the unipolar world. Don't believe the media. All the lies. It's blatant, disgusting lies in the media. It's all one-sided. NBC even admitted to it. That the Pentagon was using the media to lie to the people. Right? It's there. This is great what's going on. It's historic. They're standing up to literally what we're all fighting, which is global governance. Right? We all get it? So I'm going to be around. If you have any questions, come up. Thank you.
All right, guys, we got to keep it moving. We only got a couple more speakers and a great performer, and we gotta keep rocking it. And so, you guys are the hardcore. By the way, listen, round of applause for you guys for sticking around. You guys are the hardcores. You guys are the hardcores. Other people, they hear their speaker, they disappear, but you guys stuck it out, and we're almost at the end. And let me just introduce the speaker, then I'll say hi to you. So, there he is. He's like a ninja.
Well? You want to tape this
Anyway,
as
he's a
well?
beautiful soul, as everyone is.
All right.
Mr. Amrit Bering. And he's just doing a quick chat, so give him your love.
Yeah, share the message, everyone, so we can get this out. It's important information.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, sure, yes.
Good evening, Vancouver.
Awesome, everyone.
I have been given 5